Hello there, True Pop Culture 7 here, and in this video I'm going to be taking a dump on the MCU's laziest content yet, Marvel's What If. When this series was first announced, I remember being excited. I thought to myself, is Marvel Animation going to make a comeback? And the answer is a definitive
no.
Well, that'll be all for the video. See you guys later. Okay, I guess I'll get into it. I'll be breaking down each episode. I'll probably be spending more time on some of the episodes since they're terrible, and on the others I'll just give my quick thoughts since they're incredibly boring to watch to the point where I'd rather watch paint dry. First, we get some exposition from Jeffrey Wright's Watcher. Great choice for the voice, by the way. We're introduced to the concept of the show. It all sounds interesting so far. Unfortunately, after the introduction, the episode starts. From the very first sequence of events, I get the impression the creators of the show didn't do their homework on what went on in Captain America: First Avenger. Fortunately, I did. Let's point out what they missed, shall we? Let me just say, what the hell did they do to the Good Doctor?
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Honestly, what kind of animator patted himself on the back and said, I did a good job here? Looks like a homeless Santa Claus. But I'm getting off topic. The question I find myself asking about this scene is why would Carter deciding to stay near the experiment change anything that happens? So in here, she decides to stay on the ground floor. Now everyone is there with her. Why? Why aren't these people sat here? Another thing I want to bring up. Why is the Hydra agent detonating his bomb before the experiment is started? S.H.I.E.L.D. themselves aren't sure whether this experiment will work.
I did it.
Yeah. I think we did it.
You actually did it.
Why blow your cover and sabotage something that might not have worked in the first place? What happens after this also seems bizarre. Steve is injured and clearly needs medical attention.
Help me! Help me! Nick!
And then Stark says, we either do this now or we lose the project. You're not losing the project, Stark. You have the super soldier serum intact right in front of you. Simply grab the vials, get Steve to a hospital, and try the experiment at another time. But Carter, instead of getting Steve some medical help, goes into the pod and does the experiment on herself.
You worthless piece of shit!
Oh, and Dr. Erskine dies, and everyone just kind of forgot and never mentioned him throughout the entire episode. It's not like he was important or anything. The rest of the stuff in this episode is fluff. I like the Hydra Stomper design, but I have to ask, how did Howard come up with an Iron Man suit? Did he look into the future and get the idea from his son? You know what, let's get into the finale now, where Captain Carter finally has their first interaction with...
You're too late, Captain Carter. I have summoned the champion of...
Oh no, wait, he's dead. Also, Red Skull, pal. Why on earth would you use the Tesseract to summon a big tentacle monster? I mean, creating bombs and weapons with this thing seems like the much better option rather than summoning a creature you can't give orders to. Then the episode ends with Carter going into the portal with the tentacle monster, and once she emerges, she goes into the future to meet Hawkeye and Nick Fury. And for some reason, she hasn't aged. For as stupid as Ant-Man and the Wasp, at least they got this right. They at least made her old. But in here, Carter hasn't aged a day. Why? We're not going to get an answer to that, are we? Overall, this episode is a terrible start. Go watch Agent Carter show instead. I haven't watched it, but I have heard good things about it. Episode 2, What If Star-Lord Was Black? Really, Marvel? That's all you got? Alright, let's get this one over with. The very first scene, the joke just goes on for far too long. Get a room, you two. Throughout this episode, you start to notice everyone acts this way towards T'Challa. Everyone loves him. His intentions are pure, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, making everyone's lives a whole lot better. He even convinced Thanos not to commit genocide. Wait, what?
Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare! Fuck you!
There was more than one way to reallocate.
If only T'Challa was on Titan, Thanos would have changed his mind. Problem solved. A good argument. Is that all the Avengers needed to defeat him?
Sometimes the best weapon in your arsenal is just a good argument.
I have only one thing to say. Go fuck yourself.
How on earth did the Collector get Cap's shield and Thor's hammer? Are they dead, or did they miss something? And since when does Hela's helmet give you her powers? I thought the powers are hers, not that they come from some magic helm. Getting back to the point I was originally gonna make, T'Challa in this episode is like the second coming of Christ. He makes everyone like each other, solves all of the galaxy's problems. But don't the writers realise, in doing so, you're degrading Peter Quill's character. But then again, everything is going to be wiped out by ego, so this whole episode seemed pointless. And now episode 3. To be honest, I'm completely apathetic towards this one. No gender or race swaps this time, and yet the idea still seems worthless. A murder mystery in the MCU? As soon as the murderer and his motivations are revealed, my interest in the episode falls flat on its face. Let me get this straight. Hank Pym killed all the Avengers just to spite Nick Fury. And he killed Thor, who wasn't planned to be an Avenger. But you killed him because you had a hunch Nick Fury was gonna recruit him. I'm confused as to why Ant-Man is killing the Avengers. He said in his monologue that he wanted to make him hurt. Killing the Avengers hurts Fury's job, sure, but it doesn't hurt him specifically. So why not kill Coulson or Maria Hill? Maybe Nick Fury has a brother or some sort of relative you could kill. Oh, he may even have a David Hasselhoff dad you can kill. Anyway, I just find this guy's motivation to kill the Avengers flimsy. And that's all I have to say about this one. Like I said, totally apathetic to it. Moving on to episode 4. Now, this may surprise you, I really enjoyed this one.
Oh my god! Wow!
Unlike episode 2, this one doesn't shit on an established MCU character. I was completely sold on Doctor Strange's motivation to save Christine, and the ending just hits me in the feels. However, probably the flaw that sticks out the most is the absolute point in time. Why is it that the Ancient One is always the person that says the complicated time travel exposition? There are so many questions to ask. Is there more than one point in absolute time? What are they? What else can you not change in the MCU timeline? Why wasn't the snap an absolute point in time? And if it were, would the Avengers be screwed? Or could they just use a gauntlet to break through it? But wouldn't that turn everything into black goo like it did in the episode? I get the feeling we're going to have these sorts of time travel questions stack up as the MCU goes on. Thanks for that, Endgame. Episode 5. Now this is the episode I was anticipating the most.
I've been looking forward to this.
I'm obsessed with the concept of zombies. Whether it's in movies, video games, or books, you could say I consume a lot of zombie content. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. Anyway, as soon as I finished watching this, I wasn't particularly happy with it. Disappointing is a perfect way to describe it. Is it just me, or is the tone an absolute mess in this? Nearly every time someone dies, they try to throw in a joke that spoils the moment. I guess that's the MCU standard. Every time there's a serious moment to be had, throw in a joke afterwards for good measure. From the very start, when Bruce Banner sees his first zombies, he's being funny in a slapstick comedy kind of way. That feels incredibly out of place. It seems like you could add sitcom laughs and you'd still be in line with the tone.
Don't eat me. I'm vegan.
Your friend, Tony, has become a disfigured zombie who's trying to eat you and has been decapitated in front of you. Why are you making vomit gags?
Oh, I'm gonna vomit. I'm definitely gonna vomit.
Fuck you!
Further on, it explained the infection came from the quantum realm. The quantum? Is that the best the writers could come up with? I mean, how on earth would a zombie Hank know how to drive the ship back? Are these supposed to be your standard zombies or your smarter than average zombies? You have so many cool options to bring zombies into the MCU, and I feel like you've chosen the lamest one. The infection could have started with Scarlet Witch trying to resurrect her twin brother, or maybe Hydra tried to take over the world with biological weapons that go wrong. Having it come from the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie is kinda disappointing. For me anyway. The Watcher then goes on to explain how the disease spread out. The Avengers got infected just because they didn't know the rules of infection. Are you having a laugh? Every moron who lives under a rock knows how zombies can infect you. And you're telling me no one in the Avengers figured it out?
See, now that's some bullshit.
And could someone please explain to me how the fuck did Iron Man get infected? Huh? What if, writers? Can you guess what I'm talking about? Let me give you a hint. It's in the fucking name! Iron Man! He's in a metal suit, for Christ's sake. No zombie is gonna bite or scratch through that. We're then introduced to a group of survivors, and I already have questions. How on earth did Happy survive? Now, you could argue, oh, true Puppet, he survived because he has the Iron Man glove. Okay, kind of a weak argument, but hypothetically, let's say I've accepted it. Let me ask you a better question. How on earth did the Russian guy from the Ant-Man movies survive? He doesn't have any superpowers. He doesn't have any weapons. He's not a trained SHIELD agent. He's just a dude. How on earth is he still alive? How did he make it into the team? Is he just meant to be the clown in the team? If so, you don't really need him. You already have 3 jokesters on the team. Oh no, wait, I forgot. They had a 4th one later. So the team is on their way to a SHIELD base. They obviously split up, since that's always a good idea in zombie scenarios, right?
Wrong.
Of course, the team bumps into zombies, and after Zombie Falcon is cut in half, Bucky says this gem of a line.
I should be sad, but I'm not.
Fantastic dialogue, which deserves a Nobel Prize for writing. Moving further on, zombie Captain America gets on the train, somehow. Shouldn't it be somewhat emotionally difficult for Bucky to fight Cap?
You're my friend.
You're my mission.
Then finish it. Because I'm with you to the end of the line.